Hello, everybody. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. I was supposed to be back earlier this morning, but I stayed up until after 4 this morning working on putting stuff in Google Classroom and some other stuff. So I slept late and I had to run some errands, but I'm back now. Okay, this is part 2. Yesterday, we talked about 4 traits of a learner. Today, I'm going to get, well, it's 8 in total. Yesterday I talked about 4. Today I'm going to give you the last 4 with a description. Again, let me just give it to you up front so you can read it, then like and subscribe to my channel and go on about your day. But if you want to hear me talk more about it, you can stay for a few minutes. Okay. So I'm not going to repeat what I did yesterday. You can go to the video I made yesterday for that. So these 4, the first one is learners make knowledge their own. The second one, learners unlearn. Okay. The third one is learners share what they've learned. And the fourth, learners engineer outcomes. So that's what you do. Again, when I'm talking about a learner, because we're all learners, all of us, when I say those things, I'm talking about you specifically. Okay. And again, I'm getting this from my book, Longing to Learn. Bringing a sense of delight and freedom back to training and development in the workplace. It's on Amazon, $2.99. Go get it. All right, so let's get into these things. Learners make knowledge their own. So you make knowledge your own. And what that means is when you are learning something, whether it's a formal training, whether you are going to class, to learn how to become a psychologist or a repairman, mechanic, whatever it is, you are filtering that knowledge through your own filter. Okay. You are making that have meaning for you specifically. And the person sitting next to you is doing the same thing for them. So even though you might be hearing the same thing, okay, you are processing it differently because you're attaching it to your own experience and your own goals. That's what it means that you make knowledge your own. Okay. So, I went to this training on risk, on what the hell was it? Risk management. Everybody in the class was from the financial world. Okay. Because it was like financial risk was mostly what the topic is. But I went because I was looking for more information on knowledge risks, which has to do with my job. The stuff he was talking about, the instructor was talking about, I don't know nothing about no financial stuff. Like I don't work with that at all in my job. Okay. But the stuff he was saying, I saw the relevance of it for what I do in learning development and evaluation. So I made that content my own. Okay. I'm sure it's miles totally different than what the financial folks were thinking as they were hearing, the instructor. Okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay. We're not robots, being programmed with something so that we do all the same things, the same way. So learners, me, we make knowledge our own. Okay. That's what that means. Learners unlearn. I have a video that I made where I explain what unlearning is. Okay. Let me tell you what you do when you unlearn. This is actually, let me read a little bit from what I have here. You can't learn anything if you already know it. Do you understand? You can't learn something you already know. All right. That's why you have to unlearn. So learner, this is what you do. You understand and see that every model you have, every framework, every perspective you have is incomplete. It's not complete. Learners know that. And you do, know that. Okay. You know it's incomplete. And there's always more to know and do. So in your role as a learner, you understand that whatever you know for sure, you understand there's more room to know more. So that even that knowing is incomplete. Okay. And that's how you remain, open to learn new things. And like I said, you cannot learn what you already know. So if there's more to learn, you're going to have to just not just pile on more of that thing on top of what you already have. Sometimes you have to back up, you know, from what you already think you know, and then question that thing, okay, and learn something else. Now you do this. You absolutely do this. You probably don't notice it, but you do it. But we need to do it a little more consciously and more often. Is what the issue is. Okay. Okay. So the next one, there's only two more. Learners share what they have learned. All right. Now, there was a discussion on not Facebook, on YouTube recently about competition. Okay. Now we know that businesses, they put monetary value on the stuff that they know, right? Like trade secrets almost, okay? And that intellectual property, copywriting stuff, and and all that, all right? Because we know that knowledge is valuable. It's valuable. So you may say, well, why if I know something, would I just share it like that? Oh, okay, for other people to go off and, like I said before, make it their own, and go use it for whatever. So I'm all right. So I'm not talking about things that you get patented or whatever, that kind of stuff. I mean, you can do that because I told you about the Creative Commons website, right? Which is like copyleft as opposed to copyright. Okay. They just give you stuff, they give you things to use. But for the most part, as a learner, you want people to know what you know. We all know people who want us to know what they know, okay? Because they never stop talking about it. They never stop talking about what they know. I mean, that's what instructors are. That's what teachers do, okay? They talk about what they know, what they've researched, what they've experienced. That's what your grandmother does when you sit down with her, or your grandfather, or your uncle, your mom, okay? They share what they've learned. All right. And it's not, and like when I told you about the definition of sharing is not about, I don't lose anything when I share with you what I know. I don't lose a thing. Okay. And I don't gain anything either. It's sharing. All right. So learners share what they know. The last one, learners engineer outcomes. Learners do not just sit back and let life happen to them and then just react. Okay. We take deliberate steps to actually engineer the result that we want. Not saying that other stuff won't happen, because that life happens. Okay. That's just, it don't matter who you are, where you are, whatever. However, where we can take control and we can plan and we can say, okay, this is how I want this thing to come out. Where we can do that, we do that, and we take that opportunity to do that. All right. So those are the last 4 of the total 8 traits of learners. And again, I wanted to go over this because the implications for people who teach. Now, you don't have to be a formal teacher in a high school or elementary school or whatever. If you have children, if you have nieces and nephews, if you have, friends, if you're in a group, if you're a minister, if what a supervisor, okay, whatever role you're in, an employee, you have coworkers. At some point, your function is going to be teaching. Okay, that's what your function is going to be. Actually, I just had something in here. Let me read that real quick because that was really. Okay, here it is. This is what I say. When learners feel compelled to share, they activate their function as a teacher, guide, or instructor. Learners are teachers committed to sharing with others what they've learned and done. Okay. So you have all of those traits, all of the 8, the 4 I talked about yesterday and the 4 I talked about today. So the implication of that for you when you are in a position of a learner is to know you have those traits. Like, that's what I do. Okay, that's what learners do. That's how I'm going to show up for this learning event, for when I apply to school or something, right? That's how I'm going to show up and do that. If you're a teacher, okay, you've activated your role as teacher. You need to know, first of all, you're also a learner, but the people who are in front of you, they have these traits. So what are you going to do, teacher, to create an environment to help them be the best learners they can be? That's the question we need to be asking. Not how much of what I know can I just vomit onto them. Okay, that's not it. The question is, how can I create an environment where they can learn as much as they want to learn? And that doesn't mean that you talking for hours. Okay. Much of it means you shut your mouth, make sure the environment is such that these people can learn, and get the hell out of the way so they can do what they do. All right. That's all I have for today. Y'all, I had an amazing idea for something that I want to do to create more content for this channel. I'm not going to talk about it now, but it's very interesting. I'm really excited about it. I want to run it by a couple of people because I think it's an awesome idea, but I want to hear other people's opinions about it. So I'm going to form all that, come up with how I want to do it, and then I'm going to tell it to you. So you all can let me know what you think, okay? All right, back to work. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.